All right, peace, power, and profit, everybody. This is your brother Chris Logic Woods, or Wall Street Logic, or my sneaker name is Croft Sneakers. All right, so today I'm gonna talk about how to cop shoes for retail and the process and how you need to do that. So the normal process is, going into the mall to like a Foot Locker or a Finish Line or Champ Sports, Foot Action, those type of retailers, and you would go in there and cop your sneaker. Well, now since the new day and age, you know everything is mostly online, mainly because of COVID and the pandemic that happened a couple years ago. They had to, increase their online presence and put in the system to where consumers can get their stuff online or in a raffles online. So um, let's talk about Foot Locker. So Foot Locker and its subsidiaries like a Champ Sports, uh, Foot Action. I'm not sure there's a lot of Foot Actions left. I think they kind of minimize the business on that. But Foot Action, Champ Sports, and East Bay. Those are the subsidiaries that's under the Foot Locker brand. Um, so what Foot Locker has is called FLX Rewards, um, and they have a launch reservation process that allows you to enter raffles to win a specific sneaker or a highly released sneaker, like a Jordan or Yeezy, or maybe uh, what's newly on the market now is Puma by LaMelo Ball. So they have a specific sneaker that he wears and that he promotes, um, that you can enter reservations for, a raffle for, to win a pair of his sneakers. Now, it didn't used to be like this back when I started, maybe about 2 years ago, right in the middle of the pandemic. Um, they started this flex reservation thing. So um, basically, what you have to do is the more points you get, the better your chances are of winning these sneakers on the raffle or reservation. Um, and it did cater to bigger accounts. So people who had over like 500,000 points, they would a lot of times would win every raffle or reservation on a highly released sneaker. So it was almost guaranteed that they were going to win because Foot Locker shows their loyalty to loyal customers, and we get that. So I guess I believe last year um, they wanted to change it up a little bit because a lot of the new customers were complaining that the bigger accounts were always winning and that they really didn't have a chance to win. Now by proxy, that goes along with botting and all this other stuff, and it was just so hard for normal people just to cop a sneaker, because the resale market for a shoe just blasted off into 2020 because of the pandemic. And you had resellers grabbing all of the shoes or all of the product, the quantity of product, and reselling them and making money. So Foot Locker decided to, you know, hey, we're gonna cater to the new customers, the smaller accounts, and it's kind of like everybody wins, and the bigger accounts by proxy wasn't winning that much. So I think what Foot Locker tried to do, they tried to promote fairness, but I think they went about it the wrong way, because what that does is that really takes your loyal customers who spent the most money, and it forces them to go elsewhere, like like Nike or the Sneakers app or JD Sports or Finish Line, Dick's Sporting Goods, so forth and so on. And we'll get to those others here later and talk about their process. But so by them making that move, you know it really kind of shifted the sneaker community, because it's like, we've been loyal members for umpteen years, and now you telling us you trying to make it fair for everybody by, not letting us win that much and letting new customers, you know, in on the fun. And I get it, it's cool, but I think they went about it the wrong way. So now by proxy, I am even 2 years in, I have over 1 million points. So, you know, to where it is now, I think it's a lot more balanced. So everybody's winning now. So the smaller accounts, people with 500,000 points, people with points lower than that, because 500,000 used to be like the medium. Once you hit 500K in points, you were guaranteed basically to win the reservation. Anything below that, it was like a hit or miss. But now it's more balanced. It's more balanced now, so everybody's winning. Whether you got a big account or a small account, you're able to win if you enter the reservation. Now it's not guaranteed, because there's a couple times that I did lose, but I lost by proxy of their different options. So they have what's called uh, the in-store reservation, and they also have the raffle, ship to me reservation. So if you don't win in store, that means like when the Jordan shoe or the Adidas shoe or the Puma shoe actually drop, and you go in to cop the sneaker, just go into the store and confirm your reservations by purchase. You can win the ship to me option. So the ship to me is basically, okay, you don't win in store, so they'll ship the product to you and charge your card, and you'll get the product, in 5 to 6 business days or whatever the case is. So you would still win. You just won't win in store. So you'll win the ship to me. So they added that program, which also benefited a lot of new people, new customers, as well as some of us older heads too, you know. But it's just a thing of, winning in store, it's just better overall, because you can go in the next day and pick up your shoe. But, instead of waiting, those 5 or 6 days to get your product. And then on top of that, which I don't like about Foot Locker, they still charge you a shipping fee of $8. So it sucks, but you still get the product regardless. So you can't really be mad at that, at the facts. So, um, but yeah, so the ship to me option was actually, very beneficial for a lot of sneakerheads. And, I think they added that around the time that the Jordan 11 Cool Grays dropped. So the Jordan 11 Cool Grays, and then the patent leather breads, Jordan ones. They also used the ship to me option, um, and they actually used East Bay at that time as well, which I think is which I think was great, because that actually puts East Bay in a bigger light. But since then, they have not used East Bay for those type of launches. I don't know why. I think it was weird that they stopped. Hopefully, they bring it back. I'm pretty sure I'm ask a question about that on a next earnings call, because I just thought, them integrating East Bay into the whole picture was going to push their business forward, because East Bay is really an online business. It's like e-commerce. It's not a brick and mortar type of store. So, they can really benefit by using East Bay on the ship to me option. So, yeah, so Foot Locker, you have your in store, may not in store, but you have your launch reservations with the Flex Reward FLX. You can download, Foot Locker app, Champ Sports app, and East Bay app, because I don't think Foot Action is no longer in operations, because I think they basically are closing Foot Action down. I know some places still have them, but they pretty much on their way out the door. So you can sign up and you just get points for just, connecting your Facebook and, putting in certain information and stuff like that to kind of build your profile up. They reward you points. And you just shop. You just shop to build up your points. And if you want to be a reseller or you just like collecting shoes, it's good, to help build up your points to where they come familiar with you, and you kind of basically showing your loyalty, and you'll get better chances at winning product reservations, like for Jordans or Yeezys or Pumas and so forth and so on. And also let's throw New Balances in there as well, because I know the 550s are a high commodity in today's market. So you get a chance to win a lot of those shoes, by participating and spending. All right, so that's the whole Foot Locker program. Now, Finish Line and JD Sports. What's funny about them? Cause I got on to them like later, I think in 2021. 2021 was the first time like I won a raffle, an in-store raffle with them. Was really wasn't in store, but uh, you enter the raffle online and then you go pick up in store. Um, and it was on the Jordan 11 Legend Blues lows. So you know they had the online raffle and in-store raffles heavy back then, and they still kind of do the in-store raffles as well. But in 2021, I believe in October, uh, they introduced something called exclusive access, and it was bot free because you could bot Foot Locker and its subsidiaries, and also Nike sneakers, the whole 9 yards. So they introduced something called exclusive access, bot free exclusive access. And they introduced it on the Jordan 3 Pine Greens. And that was back in October 2021. Now, me, being, a year, maybe a little over a year in, I thought that was pretty dope. Bots couldn't eat on the stock. Um, they couldn't take all the shoes. So these were exclusively for the members. So, they rolled out that process. And I think they had rolled it out before then in certain states. And they were just doing the flagship program. And then they started it rolling out in all states. So I got the benefit from that. Um, like I said, in October with the Jordan 3s. And then kept rolling it on and out. And to this present day, um, it's been kind of murky, because just like with financial markets, the sneaker markets has seen a dramatic drop in resale prices on certain products, certain shoes. So JD Sports Finish Line um, has not been really doing exclusive access on certain Jordan drops. Now they just did them on the latest drop, which was the Jordan 3 Desert Elephants and the Jordan 3 Fire Reds. So they did do exclusive access for both of those. Um, and they also have a ship to me option as well, which is the pre-order. And that's for basically for people, how it originally was. It was originally like if you shopped in store, 9 times out of 10, you were gonna win in store, or they were gonna allow you to have in store exclusive access. And if you shop more online, man, it's totally different now because, like I said, the sneaker market has changed so much. And shoes are sitting. A lot of shoes are sitting. They're not flying off the shelves like that. The resale prices on a lot of these Jordan retros are just not as high as they were, like last year or earlier this year because of economic factors. So um, JD Sports and Finish Line have kind of, you know, peeped that or peep game on that. So um, the whole process with JD Sports and Finish Line. So to have exclusive access or to get exclusive access, you have to be an A-list member for one, and that's a minimum of like 5,000 points. So, you build up your account to 5,000 points. You start to get exclusive access on, specific items. It's real specific now. Before, it was like, every Jordan retro that dropped or a Yeezy that dropped, like Yeezy 350s, Yeezy 700s, Yeezy 450s, Yeezy slides, so forth and so on. So you would get exclusive access on stuff like that. And then they started adding like the panda Nike dunks, and other dunks to exclusive access as well. So because these were highly released items that people wanted, and excuse me, and so they started just pushing that out there, pushing the dunks out there for exclusive access, to now where it's like really random, and it has to be a fire shoe basically, or a highly released or a hype shoe for them to do it. Like, I think this week they're going to do exclusive access on the Jordan 1 taxis or yellow toes that's dropping on Saturday, September 24th. And also the UNC Jordan 1, UNC Low Jordan 1s, they're probably going to do exclusive access on those too on the 28th. We just have to wait and see. It's just like if it's a hype release, like they're going to do exclusive access. If it's not really hype, then they probably just going to do a regular in-store raffle, and just do it like a regular online drop. So that's the a whole thing about JD Sports and Finish Line with their whole exclusive access. It started off good in my opinion, and then it filtered through, because just like with Foot Locker, man, their apps, um, it's just horrible. Like, going back to Foot Locker real quick, they normally do, like I said, the raffle and reservations, and then the day before the drop, they select the winner. So Jordans normally drop on like a Saturday, sometimes a Thursday or Friday, depending on the shoe, but mostly on a Saturday. So the Friday, by 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, they select winners. And these apps will crash because everybody is trying to log on and, and check to see if they win. You get all these error messages, and most times, sometimes you can't even confirm if you won or not. And when you do try to confirm, you're already too late, because you have like an hour window to confirm your reservation or confirm your win. And if you don't, it's expired. So, we had many of debates and arguments, with customer service reps, and how bad their apps are when it comes to this, and they have yet to do nothing about it, of course. But it gets ridiculous. It gets ridiculous. Now it's the same thing with JD Sports and Finish Line, because what they do is they put you in a queue when they actually have exclusive access. They put you in a queue, and you could you could miss out because either the app is crashed, the server's crashed. You could be in a bad area. You can have perfectly good Wi-Fi, and then like for 2 minutes your Wi-Fi messed up and you still can't get in, and then you turn the Wi-Fi off, and then you go into LTE, and now you're trying to get through it on LTE, and by the time you get into the app, your size is gone, because exclusive access doesn't guarantee you a pair. It just guarantees you an opportunity to, you know, get you a pair. And then once you confirm, you're good. So, JD Sports and Finish Line app is trash as well. And, their queue is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It can be ridiculous. I remember back in January when the Jordan 1 patent breads came out. Or was that December? That was December. I could not get in to confirm my pair. I couldn't. And I just thought it was weird. I'm like, man, I've hit on every release like since they started. And I could not get into the app. Like it kept crashing, kept giving error messages. It was ridiculous. I was only able to grab a grade school pair. I did not get my men's pair. I was so mad about that. And most times they can't really do anything. You just missed out, unfortunately. But fortunately, I have Foot Locker and a sneakers app, and things like that. That's why you have these different options, to cop for retail, because that's what we all want at the end of the day is to cop your shoe for retail and not have to pay resale prices. And even in this climate or market we're in now, you know, resale ain't that bad. It's actually pretty decent because you got a lot of people that's buying shoes that haven't released yet and getting them for a good price. Because what resellers are gonna do, and I'm a reseller, I'm gonna charge you for what the value of that shoe is. Like the Fire Red threes. The Fire Red threes are probably going about 230, 240 right now. And but when you put in the taxes and you got to pay to get them verified, you spend almost $300 or maybe a little over $300 because you have to get them verified through a marketplace and authenticators instead of just buying the shoe and having it shipped to you. Because in the sneaker resale market now, you can't really buy a shoe and then and everything is good. It's got to be authenticated because there's so many fakes out here and unauthorized sneakers. You don't really want to spend your money and you get a fake pair. So they have authenticators on spot now. They have actual jobs to authenticate your shoe, and you have to pay for that service, fortunately and unfortunately. So I would charge you $270 for the market price because once you add taxes, shipping, and like I said, the authentication fee, you end up paying $300. So I'm still cheaper than the market itself. Um, and that's the other side, to not copying for retail. Um, Now, to be honest, I would not be telling people to buy shoes in this marketplace right now because of the economic factors. But we can already see that a lot of people are not because, like I said, in January, in January, a lot of the shoes that I'm holding now, I could sell easily because people have the money. And, prices on goods and services were, relatively normal. Excuse me. Um, But now, like I tell sneakerheads all the time, y'all can't look at Nike as, the god of prices and things like that. Nike is only responding to what they have to pay and their own profit margins, in the business that they run, because they also got other retailers and wholesalers that they have to get their money from too, and they taking their businesses is taking a hit. So inflation causes all of this. It causes people to not spend as much. This is why you see a lot of shoes that were maybe $300, $400 or extra $100 more on the resale market. They're no longer those prices. Those prices have failed. Just like financial markets, you see stocks and housing prices starting to cool down and drop in price because of economic factors and what I call the Federal Reserve, uh, the mafia, because you have a time period where financial assets are being affected by economic factors. And as a consumer, you have to pay attention to this. And trust me, you are, whether you like it or not, because you're paying higher gas, paying higher light bills, you're paying higher groceries, rent, so forth and so on. So this is why you see, a lot of shoes that are coming out and they're not really having a big resale value. It's because that they're sitting in stores. Firstly, they're sitting in Asia and Europe first, and then by proxy, by them sitting in Asia and Europe, it's only going to sit here as well because they get the shoes first. And Europe, Europe and Asia is crazy right now. Their economies is crazy. So we're not even experiencing anything worse like they are. Trust me, if we were experiencing what they were, there will be no resale market. You would probably have no people really copping shoes like that unless they had the money. So, to go back, because I went on a well, it's really all of this ties into it, to the financial global market or the global financial markets, because Nike, Foot Locker, JD Sports, Finish Line, they all have to answer to that as well because it's their business and their profits and their margins are affected by this as well. So it's affected by COVID, it's affected by inflation. They have to take all that into consideration. So this is why we're here. So if you're still trying to cop for retail, I talked about Foot Locker, Champ Sports, East Bay, Foot Action, JD Sports, and Finish Line. If you have the means, if you have the money, these are a few stores that you can go cop at for retail. The next store is Dick's Sporting Goods. Now, I personally love Dick's Sporting Goods. The way they present themselves, their customer service, and the fact that Nike has took them on as a partner and kind of, I ain't gonna say kick Foot Locker to the side because obviously they still do business with them, but they're giving Dick's Sporting Goods more market share. Because Dick's Sporting Goods, what's different, like I said last week, Dick's Sporting Goods is like a more of a complete athlete store compared to Foot Locker as just a retail store selling shoes, apparel, and those type of products. Dick's Sporting Goods has campus stuff, survival stuff, team sports stuff, golfing stuff. So, they have a bigger package to offer the market than like a Foot Locker. So this was, a very strategic move by Nike and partnering with Dick's Sporting Goods, and giving them more of a market share, so to speak. Now, speaking about Dick's Sporting Goods, how as a consumer, how you can cop for retail. So Dick's Sporting Goods, they don't get all Jordan releases. They don't get Jordan 1s. They don't get Jordan 14s. They don't get any collaborations, but like Jordan 3s, Jordan 4s, Jordan 5s, Jordan 6s, 7s, and so forth and so on. You can actually cop those for retail. They do an in-store raffle, so you can go in, and they do wristbands. So that wristband is basically your ticket to get your shoe. You can cop that way, or you can go through the app or online. They have a queue as well. Their queue is not as bad as the Foot Locker and JD Sports, or just JD Sports and Finish Line, but it's still a queue. So it sucks if you can't get in. Like, I'm talking about this stuff now because, like, in the past, it was worse. Now it's like easier because, like I said, economic factors. You don't have a lot of people still, buying as much as they did before, like in 2021, in 2020. the inflation is, stripping some of that away from people. So more people are just hesitant, and they figure, well, I can buy these later. And that's good, because now people can go into these stores, and whenever they're ready, they can probably get a discount on the shoe because it's sitting. So what I really look at this as is just a reset. It's really a reset. You still have people spending because the Fed is not entirely crushed everybody yet, but it's coming. So you still have people spending, but it's good that normal people who wouldn't be able to get a retail pair, they can. Because like I said before, it was hard to cop a shoe. If you didn't know how to buy, or you didn't know any botters, or you didn't really have the points, the networking pieces to really, be able to get you a hot Jordan or a hot Yeezy product. Um, yeah, Oba, peace, power, and profit. Oba knows about the retail sector more than anybody. Uh, True, all things finances. To be honest, that's my mentor. So everything I learned from him. Uh, in our group. So, but yeah, so Dick's Sporting Goods, you have that, and then you have Nike itself. So you have the sneakers app. Sneakers app is probably the worst of them all. It's very hard to win on the sneakers app, especially when a shoe is like for a draw instead of like a Leo, like a first come first serve type of thing. It's just so hard copying a shoe on sneakers app. But again, it's still hard now, even though it's a lot easier than it was, like I said, a year or more ago, because people really could not get releases. If you didn't have a lot of points on these accounts, or if you didn't know botters, or you didn't know anybody that worked at these certain retail places, or you didn't know anybody in the sneaker community that could get you a pair, it was hard for you to get shoes. And paying resale was out of the question, because a lot of these shoes, they went up 100, 200, 300, 400, 500% or more after they dropped. So it's like, and that's kind of why I kind of jumped into the game too, is to help, not just to collect for myself, but also be in the business of helping, some of these people that cannot get a sneaker, that want the sneaker, and give them a fair price, but also a market price. Because at the end of the day, I'm a business, and you have to pay me as a business to get a shoe for you, because I'm using my points, I'm using my time, I'm using my gas, and the mileage, my wear and tear, all of that. You have to factor all of that stuff in, because I'm doing the footwork to go and get this product for you. And then, at the end of the day, everybody's happy. So, um, so we covered Foot Locker and its subsidiaries. We covered JD Sports and Finish Line. We covered um, Dick's Sporting Goods, and then, like I said, Nike and Sneakers app. Sneakers app is just, they what they tell you is that you have to be active on the app. You have to be, you have to heart and share, stuff from their page. That's how you get exclusive access. But I literally just got exclusive access the other day on a pair of women's shoes. And I'm like, they didn't even come in extended sizing. So they didn't have my size. So I'm not understanding why Nike is doing weird stuff like this. Why are you giving me exclusive access on a woman's shoe and I'm a man? So I do not like that. And the fact that Nike is the only retailer, even though it's the creator of these different retail sectors, not creator, but the biggest market shareholder of the products that they, distribute to other retailers, they don't have a reward system. You literally get exclusive access randomly. Like before I got exclusive access this time around, I didn't get exclusive access for a whole year. And I'm like, that's weird, but I get it, whatever. But their reasons for how we get exclusive access, it's not true. Um, and we've complained about this. And Nike, you need to get a reward system for your members, because if we're spending money and we're giving you all of the market share when it comes to product sales, why don't you give us a reward system to where we can benefit from that and not just get like random exclusive accesses, especially the stuff that that don't really cater to us. I'm not a woman, so why would you give me a woman's shoe for exclusive access? So it's stuff like that, to make you scratch your head and be like, what are they doing over there? And hopefully, they get it together. Also to note, Foot Locker do has a new CEO. I forgot to mention that. Um, it's a woman. I forget her name, but hopefully, she gets some stuff fixed over there too, because the apps are horrible when it's time to confirm your reservation. So, um, let's see, what else. So yeah, we covered Nike, Dix, DSG, excuse me. For um, just yeah, man. A lot of those programs are just changed, over the years. Um, and it's kind of weird how they changed, because it's changing like at the wrong time, but kind of at the right time too. Because like I said, the sneaker market is suffering as well. So if you need um, like an indicator or something to compare to, just look at the economy itself. You can look at stocks. You can look at real estate, um, just for general purposes, because bonds and other stuff is a little bit more complicated. But just looking at those things and looking at the prices that you pay for goods and services, that will tell you what the economy is like and why things are the way they are. Um, you'll get a better idea of why you can't sell a $210 sneaker at retail for $310. It's because it's not the market for it right now, and the market is down, of course. So I think that's all. Um, let me make sure. Um, I mean, you got other retailers, and they have reward systems too. But those are like the main ones that I deal with. Like, you have to put in your footwork if you want to release, if you want to shoot. You have to put in the footwork, and you have to spend. You can't expect loyalty from a retailer if you don't spend any money. You can't expect to win anything if you don't spend any money. It costs to get something. Nothing is free. Free to open an account, but it ain't free to win. So you got to do your footwork. Um, and if you have the means to do so, do so. I'm not advocating for anybody to be a reseller, or to resell shoes. That is not a real. It's really not an easy job. It's really not, because you deal with all different kind of people, and then you have to. It's a business. It's really a business. You know what I'm saying? You have to do your study. You have to research. You have to research the market. You got to research, other resellers to see what they selling for, see what they doing. And you got to network, connect with people, and just try to find the best way you can get a shoe for retail and make a profit. Make a profit, and then your customers. You have to take care of your customers, and you can't be selling fake stuff. You can't sell fake stuff. You gotta be real and authentic. If that's your thing, cool. But you gotta be honest with, the people that's buying from you. And that's most important. So, and it's benefits to, this business, but it's not easy. It's not easy. And thankfully, I got people in my circle, to help me with this type of stuff, and learning about business and taxes and all of that stuff, because all of that stuff it matters too. In the end, it definitely matters. Um, so you just gotta you know talk, learn, study, research, and do your footwork to try to be the best in your lane as you can, because all of this stuff is already surfaced around, kind of like what I do anyway. So sneakers is just a by proxy of that. um it's cool to collect, but would I choose a stock, I mean, would I choose a shoe over a stock? 9 times out of 10 I won't. um but if I can make some money off of it, um they're interchangeable. I can sell a shoe for $300 and then turn around and go buy a share of Microsoft or something like that. So my income from sneakers, whether I like the shoe or not, whether I keep it or not, 10% of that has to go into an investment. So whether it's stock, whether it's some real estate, whether it's some crypto, whatever, 10% of my income from or my sales have to go into that. So I think that's another thing, another important thing that I'm trying to reach out to sneakerheads with too, is that just don't be a consumer as well. Because as you can see now, as the economy is starting to tighten, and it's starting to get tight for a lot of the American people, and the job market is starting to suffer a little by little. What I'm saying, you're gonna learn that having other income, supplemental income, can help stave off just over broke services and Mr. Charlie. So I think that's important as well. That's why I promote you know apps like Stash and Acorns, because you can shop as a consumer, but you're being an investor at the same time, because what they do is they're going to take some of that money that you spent, and it's going to go in that particular stock. So you benefit both ways. You get your emotional attachment to something you like as a material thing, and then you get your investing thesis as well. So you can build wealth over time, just with that structure, which is the structure that I practice. But it's important to know that you cannot let the material world supersede financial literacy. Because if it don't make sense, and if it don't make sense, as in moolah, money, then don't do it. And I'm all about making sense and sense. So, that's why, we have a Sneaker Talk Tuesday, because I want to talk sneakers. I want to talk, the trending stuff. I love sneakers, always have. It's a part of, you know, it's been a part of my life since a kid, and, I got back into it. Can it be, can you get greedy, and can it be emotional? Yes, it can. But my Oprah, my mentor in the chat right now, staying disciplined. That's facts. You got to be disciplined, man. Got to be disciplined in this. So don't let, people on YouTube and all these sneaker groups, try to constitute and try to tell you or hype you up to get stuff, and it ain't the time for that. Because I do not advocate for people spending money or getting into debt over things that they really can't afford. So this buy now, pay later, I'm starting to see this a lot in the sneaker community too. And I get it. I get it. You want to stay, you want to use the program. But this is the very issue that really caused it, was one of the causes of the 1929 stock market crash. You know, I'm I'm correlating sneakers and all of this stuff because it's still consuming. It's still being a consumer. I'm still bringing this back to the economy and financial literacy. So this buy now, pay later stuff will get you in some trouble. I mean, we got the articles and the data on that, and we see people doing it all over the place. They're doing it for food and groceries now. So, be careful with this stuff. It's not worth it. You can get the shoe later down the road. You know what I'm saying? The way prices are now, they're gonna go down. Trust me. Shoe prices are gonna go down, and I guarantee you, if you want it that bad, you know, you'll get it in time. Trust me. Those marketplaces ain't going nowhere. And the shoe is gonna be there. A lot of the times, a lot of these shoes that are dropping are really basic GRs anyway. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to go super high in value right now. It's going to be years before that happens. What I want you to do, you have to take the the economy into factor here. Look at the economy, then you go and look at StockX and Go and see the prices of certain shoes or shoes that's been dropping. You can even go back to 2 years ago to certain shoes that dropped. I have a lot of them in my sneaker portfolio that they were $300-400, but now they crept down to like 270, 330. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that because I understand the market right now, the economy. I understand what's going on. Could I have sold these when they were at their peak? Yes. Should I? Should I have? Probably. But I'm not worried about it because, you know, nothing ever stays down and nothing always stays up. That's not how things work. Things work in a cycle. So, learning when to sell, learning when to buy, buying low, selling high, kind of like the thesis and the lingo, for an investor or a trader. So, as a reseller, you are a trader by proxy because you're buying and selling. And if you're not selling and you're holding, you're an investor. You believe that this shoe will go up in price like a stock, and you believe it has value, even if it's sentimental or emotional value to you. You believe that you want this and you're gonna keep that. Just like art, in which I'm gonna do a topic on that too. I'm gonna do a topic on art as well, because I'm shifting some of my money into some art, and I got a plug on a certain company uh, that I'm gonna share with my investing family too. So I'm gonna talk to y'all about that and see what y'all think. But yeah, man, that's how this stuff works, man. I want the sneaker community to get out of the behavior of just being a consumer. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. We love shoes. It's cool, but don't go so far down the rabbit hole to where you put your credit in a bad situation and you putting yourself in a bad situation. you know Debtors, they thrive on this type of stuff because they know that most people are going to default because they know you're going to keep spending because you have no awareness until it's too late. So don't go crazy over just a basic GR shoe, man. It's not that serious. It's really not that serious. If you have the means, cool. If you don't worry about it, man. That shoe is probably gonna be available for you whenever you do have the means. So I'm not one of those sneaker YouTubers that's gonna tell you to make bad decisions with your money. I can't because my base is financial literacy before any sneaker reselling or sneaker collecting. I have to be that way. I'm gonna tell you what to financially do that's smart. So, you know, but that's it. I'm wrap this up. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Shout out to Ober Brandon that just came through. And always, Oba African Emporium. Um, Good to see you back in and out. I know you've been handling different stuff. Glad to see you. You got an infectious energy, man. Everybody misses you. We definitely appreciate all you've done and continue to do. Um, just thankful and blessed that I have you, my peers. Shout out to brother Andre um, and his channel Passport Global, and shout out to Mo. That's our, that's the queen of the financial house. So, yeah, man, that's Sneaker Talk Tuesdays. Next week I will be on time, and I had a bunch of technical difficulties today, so expect me to be on time, and I'm gonna have more information next week because I'm gonna do a um, I'm gonna do or I'm gonna be showing the Jordan 1 taxis that's coming out this Saturday. So I'll have that for review, and we can actually take a look at that shoe and a similar shoe that came out last year around the same time. Um, it's called the Jordan 1 Pollins, and do like a compare because they kind of use the same colorway, but just a different color blocking on each shoe. So that's gonna be happening next Tuesday. Uh, my ancestors will it. So, but that's it, y'all. Peace, power, and profit. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Oh, somebody else just came in. All right. Peace. Peace, y'all. Peace, family.